And the first thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to start out with defining, destiny, because I mentioned the destiny loop. And I want to give a dictionary definition first. And destiny refers to a predetermined course of events. It may be conceived as a predetermined future, whether in general or of an individual. It is a concept based on the belief that there is a fixed natural order to the cosmos. Okay, so based on this definition, indeed, things do, I guess, appear that way. The progression of evolution clearly moves in a loop pattern, a loop or pattern, despite the churning vehicle of time. Patterns repeat or repeatedly loop, providing the same nature of transformation. There is a base transformation formula for each pattern or loop cycling through. And I guess by the time we go through all of this, things will become even more clear, and you'll be able to ask questions in the latter part of it. But I want to make sure that I clarify this as much as possible. What I'm saying here is that there are patterns, and they're loops. A loop forms a pattern, it just comes back to the same spot and cycles through again. And each time there is that pattern, or each time there is that loop, the transformation may appear to be different, but there is a base formula for each of those loops or each of those patterns. Is just each time it might take you or whatever is being transformed to yet another level of transformation. So it might be just another level based on one basic formula for that particular pattern or loop. So it's expansion. So although each repeated loop seems to establish a new level of progression, which we do view as progress or evolution. So each one of these loops seem to establish a new level of progression, which is what I just explained, which we view as progress or evolution. So it's this endless expansion that's going on. We are indeed woven into these loops and play out our lives on the grand stage based on our point or time of entry into this invisible wheel. And those are things that we're going to be discussing as well. The significance of our point of entry, which we would call our birth in this, in that particular time that we've come in. And so this is where the idea of astrology comes in. So are we tied to fate? So let's examine the word fate as well. And it's important that we examine these definitions for, as we go further along, it will create clarity. So fate, according to dictionary definition, 1, the supposed force, principle, or power that predetermines events. So that's one definition of what fate is. Second definition, the inevitable events predetermined by this force. A final result or consequence, an outcome. So we see the relationship between fate and destiny, which sounds pretty much the same. The entire function of collective reality, I do believe it must be scrutinized in this manner. For to deny that we are up against the program of destiny and fate would definitely be to remain imprisoned by it. So, although we may say that, yes, we are not bound by destiny and fate, which we are not, but we are on one level, which we will be exploring. But we need to understand that aspect of it in order to not be bound by the concept of destiny and fate. So life and death as defined by the collective program establishes its inevitability. So we see that destiny and fate concept interwoven in, the whole life and death process, that whole program of what life and death is, and the fact that life, is also involves what we call death. So we have to see that because that is part of our wiring. This is, of course, evidenced each day all around us. So we have everything around us that supports this concept, this level of this destiny and fate program. We are reminded of our finality as running programs in the system. We are reminded of the inevitable expiration date of each human system. Yes, and we will explore that. It's like, why are you calling us a system? For those of you who have been taking the workshops before, get that part of it, understand that as to why I'm saying that. We are interwoven in a oneness program. And, of course, there are two different aspects of oneness, and I am currently referring to oneness as in the collective dream experience of this reality system that we are dealing with, what we call reality, what you and I are able to share on a common level at this time. That aspect of the oneness is what I'm dealing with right now. Okay, so this oneness program, which represents the collective with common concepts, images, beliefs about the nature of existence. So in our concept of